So at the end of the wrist stretches, I always end with this key sprinkle that I learned from my Aikido teacher. And there's a few reasons that I teach it. But really the point of this lesson is to share something about my teaching that you wouldn't expect. So what people will expect is that I'm teaching stuff that I believe in, that I know works, that I've seen the results of, that I want to pass on because they have certain reasons or meaning, or maybe that I like, I guess, right? And that's probably the case with almost every single thing I teach. I don't teach things because they were passed on to me, and so I'm supposed to ritualistically and reflexively pass them on because I'm a good soldier. I've certainly had those sort of influences push me to try and pass things on, like I've been there. But I mean, I think every single thing that I teach, I understand why it's done. I understand the meaning, the reasoning, the function, the form, the philosophy that I have all my arguments behind why I'm doing it. Not that I'm right, but I know why I'm doing it. This one is the exception. I don't believe it. I don't think when you do this, your chi comes out your fingers and then sprinkles over you. Kind of a poetic image, kind of cool. Moreover, I think if the chi was going to do that, that isn't what I'd want to do with it, right? But I probably learned this, 25 years ago. And so I've been doing it every day since then. And I've never noticed it do anything deleterious. Like, it's harmless. I don't think it does anything like what my teacher said it did, and I think it's harmless. So here's why I teach it. One, what if I'm wrong? Then I stop passing it on because I didn't figure out how it's good for me or what it does or believe him. And if it's harmless, why not pass it on and maybe just share like, hey, my understanding is it's supposed to this, except I've never experienced it or my student. So I could do that, but that's not really in my nature. My nature is like, I want to be able to be behind it and understand it and, argue about it and discuss it, all the rest, supporting evidence and all that. But I think it's harmless. I think it's kind of fun and poetic, and it's kind of easy to follow, and it's an indistinct kind of practice as opposed to the prior precision on the stretches that we are doing. But so the big reason to do it is to teach people the exception to, hey, I can teach something that maybe next month I'll figure out what it's for and I'll feel it. And I'll be glad that I did it for 20-something years, right? And maybe you tonight, you just learned it. Maybe you will feel it and it's your favorite thing ever and it works and helps your migraines or something like that. So I'm glad I passed it on, right? Particularly because I think it's harmless. So if it was harmful, then the argument is different. But the big reason I pass it on is that every time I do it, my teacher's in the room, right? And I can see him doing it, and he's not around anymore. And it's a harmless thing and it takes 2 seconds out of the class, so it's harmless in a lot of different ways, and I might be wrong. And that's an important thing to be able to teach. So that's the reasoning behind that. So thank you, Eric.